Dun, dun, dun.
Go.
We are live with another episode of Listen Up Santa Paula.
Which episode is this?
Episode number 109.
Oh, we almost got 110.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we are going to be wrapping up this weekend's events. So sit back and buckle up, Cowboys, because here we go.
Rough Edge FM. Irritatingly irresistible internet radio at roughedgefm.com.
There's so much going on in your community that even in this age of information, it's tough to keep up. This show will help. It's all about what's new, what's happening, and what's out there. So if you're ready, sit back and listen up, Santa Paula.
All right. Well, I was doing some of my homework.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. And I watched a bunch of podcasts over the weekend.
Yeah.
And well, I guess there's one podcast that my 1-year-old, almost 1-year-old grandson absolutely loves.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's some female. But one of the things I know, one is they're very excited people. They like really animated.
Yeah.
And two, they don't play any introductions.
No.
I mean, are we that old school?
Probably. Yeah.
But it's so cool.
Yeah. You got to have an intro.
You do that little lead in, and then you have the intro that comes out, and
You can't just start talking.
I know
It's got to be an intro.
it just makes me feel better.
Much more professional.
It makes me feel better.
Yeah.
I mean, without it, it's kind of like, oh wait, we're starting.
Yeah. Well, as long as you're feeling better on it, that's fine. Because
Okay.
you're the engineer. So, you know,
All right,
you have total control.
it's my game.
That's right. I'm just visiting.
Yeah. Anyway, so we wrapped up the Citrus Music Festival this weekend.
Yep.
And now, did we do a show since I did my live remote?
Yes, we did one last
We
Wednesday.
did. Okay, so we probably talked about that then. All right. So so we had the Citrus Music Festival, which was at Veterans Park.
Yep.
And mixed feelings, maybe? Is that the right word to say?
Yes.
Saturday
Ho hum
could
day.
use some help.
Yes, exactly.
Sunday was what the event should have been.
Exactly. Sunday was amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were.
Which is the day that I missed because I had other shows going on.
Yeah. So
Go
you were there
figure.
Saturday. You saw what we had going on.
I did.
Yeah, and I credit to everybody that was there. I appreciate everybody that came, but we didn't even come close to what our expectations were that day.
And the thing is that I mean the vendors were out, the bands were amazing.
Yeah.
Even the local bands. I mean, Rewind always does a great job.
Yeah.
And what's awesome is even though they might not be performing to a very large audience, they still get out there and give it their all. And, they put every effort behind it. That's why I always say you got to support live entertainment because these people are working hard to try to bring enjoyment.
Yeah. All 8 bands over 2 days were phenomenal.
Yeah.
They gave it their all. On Saturday, our first 3 bands were Santa Paula based. They loved the fact that they could perform. They worked with us. They're helping us out a little bit, and then our headliner Full Clip. I mean, they're from the Valley, but they've done 3 of our events now. Just killed it with that. I just wish there was more people in our community that would have come out to see it.
Right. And what's interesting is Full Clip. Wano and Friends.
Santa Paula
based, Hispanic. They did some Hispanic music. Full Clip, mostly Hispanic, and they did a lot of Hispanic music. But I think the perception is that these were all English speaking bands, and then on Sunday it was the Spanish community that came out.
Yes.
And I gotta hand it to the Spanish community. That's the one thing about them, boy, is they come out in full force.
Yeah, the last few times we've had this event and we've done a Spanish Music Day, I mean, they all come out and they bring their families. They spend all day. It was an incredible day on Sunday, and credit to them. We made it affordable. I mean, it was $5 to get in both each day.
Right.
And so, that family of 4, they come in for $20, and they spent money. The kids got to run around the park. It was incredible to see all the families there. And the dancing was incredible. Oh my God. I mean, later in the evening, man, there was so many people that half that park was dancing,
Nice.
and there was probably 1,400 people that were in that park, which was past a little bit more than what we expected, but then Saturday was half the attendance.
Right.
And that's what was disappointing in within our community. I mean, the chamber does a lot of stuff for our community, and we focus on small businesses. We focus on local. It was a disservice from our community that they didn't come and support the bands that were from local here, and our local vendors. With us, it is what it is. With the chamber,
Right.
we're going to do what we do, but to not come out and support people within their own community tells me a lot about how our community is structured right now, and we need to do better. We need to do better all around. We need to do a better job to reach out to people, and we need the community to see what's going on, and then they need to support it. They'll drive to Oxnard or wherever. The X Games was great, and we support them too, but you have it in your own backyard, and yet you don't come. And I'll get on my soapbox for a minute here. And then through social media, people were blasting us saying, well, we didn't even know about it. I mean, we went through every channel we could that was within our budget to announce this event. There was no way you didn't know this event. And people still, as they still say, I didn't know about it, and that's fine, whatever. But people that did know about it then didn't come. And then they're like, oh, well, something came up. I get it, whatever. But as a community, we got to get better at not just our event, but all events that go on. We need to support. I mean, you have events, you see the struggles you have trying to get people.
Right.
We have other events, our comedy show, same thing. He struggles all the time to get people to come in, and everything's low cost. I mean, you don't charge a whole lot for
No.
it. The comedy shows, I mean, we had $5 and would you believe people were complaining about paying $5 to get in?
Really?
Yes. We had a handful of people that complained that they had to pay $5 to get in.
Wow.
And I'm just like, well, it's your option. You want to come in or not? But, somebody's got to pay for this event.
Yeah. And, you're paying thousands of dollars for these bands to
Yes.
be up on stage. And that even that's a discount because they're trying to help out the community.
Exactly. Because they're part of it. They're part of this community. Every one of those bands that were there from Santa Paula, they donate their time for cruise night. They play for cruise night. But we wanted to give them an event where they're on stage. They have a professional sound guy. So it gives them an opportunity to showcase what they have with a professional team.
Right.
Where, cruise night, they just pull their amps out, they set up, they play.
Right.
And it is what it is. But we want to give back to them also. It's like, look, this is, we brought a team in that's going to help you elevate your game. So when they go out in other areas, they're going to get much better. All 3 bands from when we worked with them, way before the pandemic, it's amazing how much they've improved over the years.
Yeah.
They were killing it. And so through my eyes, I was disappointed in our community because we are better than that. And we should have supported more. And like I said, not just strictly for the chamber, but support the people that were there.
Right.
Support the band, support the vendors and all of that, and we had a core group of volunteers that put a lot of hours in to make it a great event, and from our service clubs. And, we'd like to contribute to them too for doing their job. But if people don't come, how do we support them also?
Right.
It's a team effort that we put. You know what I do. Everything's a team effort. And the only thing I ask is just show up. That's all I ask from people. And apparently a lot of our community doesn't do that. So,
well, yeah. And it's sad because when you think about it, I mean, there's so much involvement, like for us that we are, and we still there's a magic shop in Santa Paula.
Exactly.
There's an escape room in Santa Paula.
Mhm.
And it's like, so no matter how hard you try, and it almost becomes an issue of, okay, so we're using the social media, we're, doing the radio ads, we're doing the newspaper ads, we're doing all of the things that we can to publicly get the message out there. And if you're still not receiving that message, then is it maybe because you're disconnected from the main source of information?
Yeah.
And so one of the things that, I would encourage people is sign up for your local groups. Sign up, go onto social media and sign up for, what's happening in Santa Paula and things of that nature. Follow the chamber's website or social media page, follow the House of Magic, follow all of these social media feeds that are keeping you informed about what's happening. And because we as or an organization can only do so much to try to get the word out there. And budgets are small, so it's not like you're going out and running TV and even TV ads today don't work because most people are streaming.
And most of the people that put on events in Santa Paula are nonprofits.
Yes.
From the museums to your group, us, we're a nonprofit. The theater center's nonprofit. I think everybody that puts on the major events in our community, or I should say all events, are nonprofits. And the only thing we all ask is just show up.
Yeah.
Because then it's going to go away. So I mean, we're actually, I'm going to evaluate this event, and as of right now, we're going to have to reimagine this event and do it in a different way, or we're not going to do it at all, because I can't, as a chamber, we have to look at what's best for the community and for our organization. And if we don't get that kind of support, we'll do other things to help bring people into our community, but we're going to shift in what we do. We've had this.
Can't afford to lose money on the event.
This is two times in a row that we've had this event and we haven't had enough people show up. So it's one of those things where I can't continue to do that. I answer to a board, and my board's going to say we can't continue to lose this money.
Right.
Because we have sponsors that expect us they give us money to generate more money to keep us going. And so we have other sources, our members too. I mean, we're not burning, we don't want to waste our membership money. So we need to do stuff to help enhance them too. So, but if we don't make money, we have to basically cut ties with certain things.
Right.
So we're going to evaluate next year. And if it doesn't work, then, we won't have an event next year. We're looking at we're going to evaluate. I'm recommending my board, we evaluate every single event we do, and we're going to pick and choose what we can and can't do. And if we don't do it, I'm sorry, but I can't continue to do this and not get the full support of and it's also, also with the city too. I'd like to see the city get more involved in it as well. We pay the city a lot of money to rent the place, to get police, close the streets and stuff too. So I really would like to connect with the city and figure out different ways how we can get more creative to help us afford these events, because you see already we have other events that have gone away recently because, the Cinco de Mayo festival is a good one this year. They couldn't raise enough money because it was a free event and they can't sustain it because of all the additional fees, that go on. So we have to work with the city and figure out different ways of how we do the events in our community for everybody. I want to pull all organizations that have these events together, and let's talk about what we can do collectively to make it better. And, maybe pull resources to try and draw people. I mean, we try and do it with the Tourism Bureau. It's a hit and miss thing with that too, so.
Did you see we got a gold award last month?
Oh, okay. All right. No, I didn't see it.
I sent you the email. We for 500
oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. So
which
anyway,
was a major increase because I think in the prior months it was like 90 or something like that. So
anyway, like I said, so next year we're hoping to do something, but maybe not at that capacity. And we're even evaluating the holiday parade, if it's even going to happen. I mean, it probably will, but if that doesn't pan out with dollar wise, I mean, we're not going to do. I mean, Cruise Nights is a good example. It's a free event, and we have to pay to close streets. We have to pay for police and everything. And so, how do you get it?
Right.
The businesses are sponsoring. We have a few other sponsors, but it's not sustainable. So we got to figure out different ways of making it work all around. So I think it's good time to revamp everything.
And a lot of the events that we do, it relies on the majority of the people to come from the community. Mm-hmm. It's not like the X Games where we can draw people from all over the county and the world to come in and participate. Yeah. These are local events that are being put on by the local community. Exactly. And it's about bringing the community together, not bringing somebody from Los Angeles or from, although we welcome them. Mm-hmm. But the point of a lot of this is to bring our community together.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, as a community, we need to, if you want Santa Paula to remain strong and vibrant, like it's in the direction that it's going, then more people need to be part of this community.
Yeah. And all cities face this too. I mean, there was the Greek festival in Camarillo too. Not sure how well they did, but it's I don't know if it's a Rotary Club or somebody puts it on. They're a nonprofit. They got to pay for that. They close streets and all that stuff too.
Right.
So it's just like we all face the exact same thing anywhere in the country or wherever.
So Nikki and Josh went to the Greek festival,
Mhm.
and apparently it's now being held at the church on the church grounds.
Yeah.
And
I don't know
so
why?
yeah,
Because it costs too much to close streets.
yes,
So that's why we moved it to the park,
Right.
Our event. But yeah, it's insane what the costs are for city charges on things, and it's not a crack on the city. It's just that it is what it is, and you have to weigh that with what what you budget,
Right.
So, and if it doesn't pan out, then you have to think of something different,
yeah, and I think since COVID, it seems like a lot of people, unless it's Elton John or somebody like that, where they can sell out tickets in 15 seconds and 2 years in advance. A lot of people don't go out anymore. They're not doing that engagement kind of stuff. And we're doing a camp right now, and one of the games that we play is that you walk around in a circle and you just kind of keep walking around this area, and you come up to somebody and say, "Hey, hi, how are you doing?" Or "Hi, nice to meet you."
Yeah.
And then you watch somebody else and you just say, "Hi, nice to meet you," but you're supposed to make eye contact and and either shake hands but at least make eye contact.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how many people struggle to make that eye contact. And so for us, it's like, this is a game about trying to build in those skills again, because it's so important to be engaged, and it's important to make that eye contact, not necessarily one-on-one, but come out to the park and make that contact.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, and that's why I think when we go through all this, all cities should look at who they work with and revamp permits, revamp other things. And we had this discussion about filming. The filming permits currently are pre-COVID or during COVID. So we got to take all that stuff out. So there's a different way of doing things. But yeah, to your point, it's a different way of doing it, and we got to reflect that in how we permit things. Even myself, with how we do certain things, that's what we're trying to make some changes on our end too, and how we do things. So yeah, it's a fight all the time. It's you're battling every week or every time you do an event, with the hopes that people come out, and then if they don't, then you're sitting there with egg on your face and whatever. But the people that were there, I love them all. Sunday was a blast. I love our farm working community that came out, and it was great to see all the little kids, the grandmas, the grandpas, all of them were just great. So I really appreciate the Sunday event that the people that came out and exceeded our expectations, but I also appreciate everybody on Saturday that came out too.
Yeah.
So it's different now.
Just a little venting.
A little bit, but I just want us all to get better. We all have to do better as a community.
Yeah.
Chamber, everybody, city, our residents, they all got to do better in supporting our community.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my hope.
Yeah. And then I think, if you think about it, people are starting to brag about Santa Paula and its community.
Yeah.
And, prior, people used to, worry about Santa Paula and the gang and the violence and all that kind of stuff. And we're now at a point where people are starting to admire the fact that Santa Paula's got this small hometown community kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And that can all go away if we don't take the time to be that.
Yeah.
And being that takes commitment and engagement.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important that we all do that. I was telling you off air that when we do our Spellbound shows, it's only 20 seats, and everybody who comes to it, I've not had one person come to it and go, "Yeah, it was okay." Everybody who comes to it goes, "Oh my gosh, this is so amazing!" Then that we even have this in our city, and the performances that we bring in are awesome, and all this kind of stuff. And but every second Friday, we're struggling to fill those 20 seats. But we've had hundreds of people come through and we've had 100 people. So why are those hundreds of people not coming back or not coming back without effort?
Yeah.
They'll come back if you email and text and call, but
I think a lot of it, and I know, and you've seen it with a lot of things, it's like people wait till the last possible minute.
yeah,
And it's kind of like they weigh their options at the
right.
very last day. Where before it's like, hey, magic show coming up in a month, put it in the calendar, we're going, whatever. And it's like, maybe Thursday. We're like, hey, you want to go to this? Yeah, whatever,
Right.
maybe, but then you're struggling because you're trying to sell tickets.
Yeah. And it's scary for the event coordinator.
Yeah.
Because you're going, oh my gosh, I gotta pay these guys for coming out here.
Yeah.
What if I don't sell the tickets? Yeah. When we were doing our big mashup show, we had to sell 400 tickets. And 200 of them would get sold within that same week.
Yeah.
And you're sitting here going, oh.
Well, that happened with our chamber awards this year. I mean, I had probably 50 tickets sold on that going into Monday of the week of the event on Thursday, and we ended up with almost 200 people.
Yeah.
So it shows you everybody just kind of waits till the last minute, and how do you get over that? I don't know.
Yeah. And I think, part of the issue is that we are in a very different society today. I mean, back when we were kids, you didn't have all this social media, and there's so much flooding you, your brain, and both families are both parents are working, and the kids are involved in sports, which is happening every single day, and so there's all this stuff that's just, and to stop for a second and breathe and go, okay, let's think about what we're going to do next Friday. No, it's like, holy cow, I can't even think about what I'm doing today.
Yeah, exactly. And then the fact that things are more expensive now.
Yeah.
So they got to watch their money, so it's also, they have a set amount of money that they can spend, and they got to maximize that. So if it's going to, my event that I had, or, and the kids want to do something big, they would go to the X Games, but then they don't do anything for the next 3 or 4 months.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where they could probably do, I'll just say, our event, the Greek Festival, come to the show, they could do 3 or 4 different things for less money or the same amount of money, but if they just want to do that one big thing, you know? So, it's, I just look at it as like, we're a better community than we're showing right now when it comes to that stuff about supporting within.
Yeah.
We can always get better, so all of us.
So
anyway,
there's the challenge.
Yep.
So
if you want me to have another
work outside
event,
of your box,
if you want the chamber to do another event, then we need some support.
Yeah. And so the challenge is like, step outside your box.
Exactly.
And get engaged with the community a little bit. You might be surprised as to how much fun and entertaining, and you're going to meet some amazing neighbors that you wouldn't have otherwise met.
We have a blast whenever we do this, and you know that.
Yeah.
We always have a lot of fun, and that's a way to get people engaged. And I get it. Everybody's different, and they do what they got to do. But sometimes, like you said, step out of the box.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed at what how good you'll feel after.
Yeah.
Don't sit behind your keyboard and,
Yeah. Watch everything through social media.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because that happens,
And the day that we had to stream everything and go virtual because of COVID is over.
Yeah.
You don't have to go virtual anymore.
Yeah. People need to turn the page in some cases,
Yeah.
and for the better for them,
Yep.
So, but it's a struggle. Everybody's different.
And we promise you're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so this Thursday we have the big 4th of July. I was going to say firework display, but it's going to be a drone display,
drone show,
which I am super excited about.
And here's another event that we're hoping that we get a ton of people to come to. It's at not Veterans Park. It's at Harding Park, the Little League. I know the city's they're doing some things.
Starts at
there.
5 o'clock.
Yeah. I think they're having food trucks or whatever, vendors.
There'll be food trucks. There'll be vendors. There's going to be lawn games.
Yeah.
For the kids. And
exactly. So hopefully people come out to that. Because I know traditionally in the past, everybody would just watch the fireworks from their house. You could see it through probably 70% of the community. But now with the drone show, I think it's a little different. You won't be able to see some of it, right?
Yeah, you have to be at the right angle.
Exactly.
'Cause
So
the lights are going to be forward facing, basically.
I don't know if a lot of people understand that, and they need to go down there, as best they can,
Yeah.
within the area.
So the only drawback to it, obviously, is parking.
Yeah.
So find a good spot and come out early.
Yeah.
And then that way you'll get the better spots.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a fun event. I mean, we're going. We might actually be a vendor.
Mhm.
We're trying to see if we can work that out right now.
Yeah.
But we're going to a campground during the day to hang out with some friends.
Who might that be?
I haven't figured it out yet. We're
Oh.
just trying to find some friends that are willing to let us come out for the day.
If you come out, there's a cocktail waiting for you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it's
Bring your own Dr. Pepper, though.
Yeah, I
I
will.
don't carry that.
yes, I'll bring my own Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, we'll spike it for you.
And I'll bring Diet Pepsi for Ken.
There you go. So,
And we might actually have May and Jared.
nice. Okay.
So
All right.
I'm bringing my own party if you don't mind.
Hey, that's fine. We're doing hamburgers and hot dogs, so
Yeah.
bring whatever snacks you want too, or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah,
Doritos.
I know. Well, it's easy. Yeah, you're an easy one. So
But then we're going to be coming back
Mhm.
for the event because I'm really excited to see the drone show. So
it's gonna be hot too, so people need to dress accordingly.
yeah.
Because it's gonna be over or pretty close to 100 degrees, I think, Thursday here,
Here?
or it's like 95 plus.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you need to cover yourself completely.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Yeah.
a perfect time for me to go out.
Yeah, exactly. So just cover yourself from just have your eyes. That's it.
Yeah.
But
So I was gonna say you're pretty rosy there. You got some nice raccoon eyes going
from the
on.
weekend.
Yeah.
So it was it was a little warm, but yeah, here's another thing. Go support that. And then Friday's cruise night.
Right.
So we're hoping that we get a big crowd for cruise night, and then Sunday's the first Sunday of the month. Where we have all the museums are doing events that weekend.
And we have our improv show on the first Friday.
Yeah, the theater center has something going on. So
Women in Jeopardy. And that I watched the preview of that, and it's a hilarious show. It's really, really good.
yeah, so there's a lot to do this weekend again.
Yes.
So get out and support Santa Paula. You don't need to leave anywhere. Just stay. There's plenty of things to do in Santa Paula.
Yeah, we got such great restaurants and
Mhm.
and the shopping experiences and stuff like that. I mean, hang out and see what your own city has to offer.
Yeah, go into stores. I mean, there's a lot of great clothing stores and retail stores in downtown and throughout Harvard. And Harvard's getting paved, so it's getting a lot easier to drive through there now. So just go and support, your local businesses. We always ask that, come and
Yeah.
support. They all appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.
So cruise night on Friday, improv on Friday. Thursday we have the drone show.
Mhm.
Sunday is the first Sunday of the month for the museums, and then we have our second Friday, which will be the Spellbound show,
Mhm.
as well as another cruise night. So there is nothing short of things to do,
Yes.
including the theater center for Women in Jeopardy.
Yeah.
And that one I highly recommend.
Yeah. So you
So-
can go to the chamber website, santapaulachamber.com. Your
You
site.
can go to the heritageValleyCA.org, which is taking over when it comes to people getting clicks for resources and stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
Somebody's doing something right.
I know we're
Yeah.
even getting higher than the chamber now.
Wow. All right.
So
No pressure on me, right? No pressure.
And then you can always go to thomagic.org for everything that's going on at the House of Magic.
What's the theater center?
Theater Center is SantaPaulaTheaterCenter.org.
Yep.
And it's spelt the American Theater.
And then you just go to the chamber website. We have a calendar. The Tourism Bureau has a calendar. That's where almost everything is right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, and the Tourism Bureau, the only thing you're going to see there are events, things that are happening.
Yeah.
The other calendars, like the Chamber and the city's website, you'll see a lot of city
Meetings
things,
and different things.
business
Yeah.
roundtables, that kind of stuff.
But we do have events on there too.
Yes, we do.
So yeah,
Which is
there-
where we source a lot of our events.
yet again, there's no reason why you can't find anything. What's going on? I mean,
Yeah.
Santa Paula Times too. I mean,
Right.
the weekly paper. Subscribe. to that.
Sometimes it's not about the organizer to reach you. Sometimes it's about you reaching the organizer. And to do that, it's
Yeah.
using your social media.
Exactly. I mean, it's
So-
all over social media. I mean,
Social
everybody-
media or your newspaper.
Yeah, use it in a positive way. That's all we
Yes.
ask.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, everybody, that is our show. That wraps things up. As always, sorry if we seem like we were, what would you say? We weren't scolding, but
We're challenging.
challenging.
We are better than what we've been showing.
Okay.
So I think my opinion, we're better than that.
All right.
For all events, not just chamber, all events.
You're right.
Yep.
So we will step up and show you how Santa Paula is strong.
That's right. We're the best city in the county.
That we are.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you all next week.
This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.